Hello, hello, hello. Today I am here with Patricia, and we are going to be talking all about women and how they can find their runway to success. This is going to be so much fun. For those of you that don't know me, I am Sabrina Victoria, your host here at Her Talk Show. If you haven't already subscribed, girl, hit that subscribe button. These podcasts are guaranteed to have you thinking differently about life.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
If you're listening live, welcome. And if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at in the comments so we can send you some love. We have had over 500 women grace this stage, and we are adding another one to the list today. Patricia is president of Runway to Success, a division of Patricia Leonard and Associates located in Nashville, Tennessee. She is a message artist, speaker, career and business coach, author, and monthly magazine columnist. And her work is focused on helping women find their runway to success. I'm so excited to sit down with this woman today and talk all about success and shoes.
Yes, we will do that. Oh, thank you for that beautiful introduction. Wow,
Yes.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Sabrina said that I call myself a message artist, and simply because I believe that messages can come in all different forms, and I just happen to present them in an art form. She mentioned shoes. Well, one of the tools that I use, and I wanted to bring this up because it might help each of you. Hello, Self is really about finding who you are and truly acknowledging that. And so I use shoes, not just high heels, but I use shoes as an assessment of where we are and who we are. And by the way, I use this in my professional work too. I recently had a woman who was a CPA, and she said, Patricia, I don't want to be a CPA anymore. I've decided I want to do something else. So I told her, I'm not your conventional coach. Is that okay? She said, sure, let's do it. And so I asked her the first question. I said, we're going to do an assessment first. And I'm moving into my high heels assessment piece here. But I said, this is the assessment. No talking, only writing. So what kind of shoe are you?
What kind of shoe would I be?
No, I'm asking my client.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the client that I'm saying to her, what kind of shoe are you?
Okay.
Now, where does your shoe want to go? Who does your shoe hang out with? Well, and I ask a series of questions. I could go on and on with these, but we've got a lot to talk about today, Sabrina and I. But you get the idea and what it's about. And then when I ask her, tell me about your shoe. Who are you and what shoe are you? So she told me, and her shoe was a high heel shoe that wanted to go to, now here she is in Nashville, Tennessee, working in a healthcare company. And she said, I always wanted to do something in the creative arts. But my mom and dad suggested I go to accounting school so that I could get a good job afterwards. Now, this woman she was in her mid to late 30s. And she said, but my shoe wants to go to New York. And well, who does your shoe want to hang? Well, creative people. I would even like to hang around an interior decorator or. This is a true story. So anyway, after all of this talking about her shoe and who they wanted to hang around with, I asked her at the end, so are you going to leave this present job that you said you no longer want? Yes, I'd like to in the spring of 2024. I said, I didn't ask you what you'd like to do. I said, when are you leaving the company? When are you turning in your resignation? And she blurted out, 2 weeks. I said, oh, that's really good that you're giving them a notice and you will help them bring somebody in. Yes, I will. Now, here's what happened after that. If you don't think that things can change your life, hello, self moments like this. She called me a week later and she said, Patricia, do you have 20 minutes or so? I've got something I need to tell you. And I said, sure. So she said, you'll never believe this. Of course I'll believe it because all kinds of things happen like this. So she said, the 4 days after we had our conversation, our coaching conversation, a friend from college called out of the blue and said, I haven't talked to you for a long time. I've just decided I wanted to catch up with you and see what you're doing. She said, you will never believe this. I am resigning in 1 more week from my job. He said, well, you'll never believe this. I am a recruiter. And he said, I'd like to talk to you about career opportunities. 2 weeks later, she was in a recruiting job, recruiting the kind of people that she wanted to be around, artistic people that would be doing. You know, this is how it happens. We have these hello self moments and our true authenticity comes up. We don't know who we are half of the time. And that's why and I don't want to take credit for hello self. I was in bed one morning and it was 4 o'clock and I heard a voice booming out, hello, Patricia, just use hello self. I said, well, I woke up and said, well, what's hello self? I had no idea. And I just went in to have breakfast and started writing. It ended up being a book. And then I realized that it was something that I had been doing all my life. Mm-hmm. Not only helping people find out who they are, what they wanted to do, and what gave them the quality of life. So there's all kinds of ways that we can find our passion and purpose. But the first step is knowing who you are now.
Wow.
So Sabrina mentioned the runway to success. It is 3 steps, and that is now, how, and wow. Yeah, the now is knowing who you are and what you're looking for. The how is, what am I going to do next? Get a resume, do whatever you do. Hang with people that are doing what I want to do. And then the wow is learning how to celebrate who we are and what we've accomplished.
That is awesome. I'd love to hang out a little bit more in this how. I think there's so often we have dreams, we have desires, we have visions, we have things, but a lot of this dreaming stops with the action. Do you have any words of or any feedback on that as far as how can somebody start taking a step into the action despite some of the fear? Like that woman was probably scared.
Definitely she was. Definitely. And it's funny. Yeah. I just want to say one more thing about her. It's definitely true. She was making so many changes and now she got married. She just got married. She was engaged at the time, but she just got married and she said, I've never lived such, it's just unbelievable. But for the action question, Sabrina, very good, because we can all talk. And if we don't walk, it ain't going to happen. It just isn't. It won't. I mean, if you, I remember I used to go to the gym and there was a biblical saying on the wall. And it said, show me the desires of your heart and I will show you the way. However, you have to take the first step. And so the first step, let's say that you want to get into the creative arts or you want to get into human resources in corporate America. This is a true story that I'm going to tell you. I had a young man from Purdue University, and I was recruiting for interns for this company I was working for. And so I'm going to get into your, how do you take the first step? You have to first let somebody know what your dream is. So this young man said, Patricia, I'm going to engineering school at Purdue, but I don't want to. He said, I've tried mechanical, civil, all these electrical, and I don't want to do that. I said, well, what do you want to do, Sang? And he said, I want to do what you're doing. And I was in human resources. True story. And so I said, Sang, I've got an idea. Go finish your engineering school. And that's why I had brought him in, was an intern in engineering. I said, go finish your engineering school, and I'll bring you back as an intern as a new hire in engineering. I want you to stay in there 2 years or a year and a half. And then what I'm going to do is bring you into human resources. And that is exactly what we did. I found the diamond bracelet or necklace the other day that he gave me to say, thank you, thank you. So one of the first steps is, how do you take action? One of the first steps is get around people that are doing it. Another first step is to identify what you want. Now, I want to say something about this because we push high school and college kids. What do you want to do? We ask everybody, what do you want to be? Well, if you're like me, I was confused and I'm still confused. I listen to those hello self moments when you're walking down the street and you think, dang, I'd like to do that. Or when you hear a song and it brings something to your mind. Pay attention to those little signals. I don't know what your religious beliefs are, and I don't care. I have spiritual beliefs. And if you get a nudge, I wrote a book called The Listening and the Knowing a couple of years ago. And when you get a nudge and it keeps haunting you, then that means you got to take action. So don't blame somebody else. Oh, my dad beat me, or the guy that I work for is not. No, don't blame anybody. It's you. So you have to get through those barriers and take the first step. So get with people that are doing what you want to do. Tell somebody, here's what I want to do. How would you do that? Talk to somebody that's doing it. So it'll help you. My sister and I were talking yesterday. She said, sis, why are you so brave? I'm not. I'm almost stupid. I just step out. When I decide I want to do something, I just created High Heels Cabaret. Do I know what it is? No, I read in Google what is a cabaret? But I'm doing it now and people are showing up. So you just have to, don't worry about being perfect. Let me tell you, I went to a 15, and I want to tell you these things because if you're waiting till you get perfect or you get everything ready, you're going to be at the funeral and you're going to say, dang, I wish I would have. No, I wrote poetry, had no idea it was song lyric, could be song lyrics. I told a friend and she came over with a guitar. She said, Patricia, these are songs. I said, they are? So then she put a little strum to it. And so I reached out to somebody else. And I went to a country music hall of fame here in Nashville, Tennessee, $15 for a workshop. I said, I don't know how to write songs, but I'm going to go. You just got to push yourself and not be perfect. You're never going to, first of all, you're never going to be perfect, and you already are perfect.
Absolutely.
for whoever you are. But anyway, I went to that. Then the next thing, and I wrote high heel shoes, excuse me. And the guy said, these are great lyrics. And then I told my friend one day, I said, I want to sing. I want to record that song. She said, I didn't know you sang. I don't. But do you have to sing? Do you have to learn how to sing to want to sing? So I went so she said, well, I know somebody has a studio here. So I talked to him. I went to the studio. And on the way in, a young man who's a guitar player for somebody here in Nashville, said to me, Patricia, what key do you sing in? I said, what? What key do you sing in? I said, I have no idea. He said, don't worry, we will help you. And we went in and they strummed and strummed. And finally I said, oh, that's it. I want country pop. I didn't know anything about music, nothing. But now I have that out, high heel shoes out on YouTube. And guess what? I'm doing a high heels cabaret at the Holiday Inn here in Nashville this weekend with a group of people, group of performers. And I'm going to sing my high heel shoe song. But that I didn't stop there. I made a DVD out of it. And I put on Craigslist. I want a young 4 or 5 year old girl. And then I want a teenager. And of course, the teenagers had all this makeup on. No, I want one with braces, a real teenager. And you'll see this, if you watch it on YouTube, you'll see the phases. 6 years old, play and dress up. So it's phases of woman going through her life and the impact that high heels play. So this is part of Hello Self, waking up to who you are. So 6 years old, play and dress up. Then it jumps to 16 now, feeling grown up. So you can begin to see the phases. Oh, this is the woman phase. Older now, old enough, motherhood. So the whole thing is Sabrina's question. How do you get started? I'm telling you, you just step out there. And if you are too frightened, if you're too frightened, find somebody that will stand behind you and say, I'll walk with you. I don't know, Sabrina, did that help at all?
Yes. It helps so much. And I really like what you said as far as let someone know your dream.
Oh, yes. Very important. I'm telling you, ladies, look at yourself at 6 years old. What were you dreaming of at 6 years old? Oh my gosh. At 6 years old, you know what? We were very poor. We lived in the country. And my aunt worked for several rich families cleaning house in Indianapolis, Indiana. They would give her clothes and high heels and shoe, any kind of thing that they were tossing, because she was very poor too. And Aunt Dorothy would give mom and our family the things that her children didn't need. Well, one of the things in there was a pair of high heel shoes. I remember standing in front, and these, going back to when you were young, is what you got to look at, not stay there, but just go back and see. And I would stand in front of the mirror in the bedroom, and I would walk around in those high heel shoes. And I was only about 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old at the max at that time. But I pretended that I was a model and that I was acting. I pretended. What did you do when you were very young, or what did you dream of? We shove those dreams down and say, oh, someday. That's why I say I help people, individuals, women, turn their cants into cans and their dreams into plans. Get those dreams and goals off that someday shelf and act now. Talk to Sabrina and I. We will. She encourages you through her Nation and her talk show. Yeah. And she has guests on like me that are sassy, so we get you going.
100%. So tell us more about this Red Heel Cabernet that you've never even done before. What is this going to look like? Tell us the whole thing.
Well,
give us a visual.
Yes, because it is doing just exactly helping people, individuals, to see who they are. They may have wanted to perform, but everybody knows that Nashville, every place, but Nashville is very, you got to be go for number one. I didn't care if I was going for number one. I was going for Patricia. So go for yourself. But anyway, here's what High Heels Cabaret is about. Here's how it was born. I wanted to do something. I don't want to, I'm not big on just coaching one-on-one anymore. I wanted to impact in a bigger way. And my whole goal in life is to improve the quality of your life in whatever way, if it's speaking, if it's acting, because I had my one-woman show, or I have my one-woman show that did the same thing. It was about a woman in midlife that woke up and said, oh, maybe life's not over, but just beginning again. So anyway, this High Heels Cabaret was something that came to my mind because I realized from the time I was a little girl, high heels have played a significant role in my life. I wrote the book, Wearing High Heels in a Flip-Flop World, when my son was about 10 years old. So it's played a role all my life, and my friends send me high heels from every place they go. But the whole thing about this is I thought, how can I take that and continue that? Because I've already got a brand. So if you've got a brand, or some people say, you're a comedian. Here's an instance. I just had a lady on my first TV show, and she's in her 50s, late 50s now, or early 60s. But she discovered in her 40s that she was a comedian. She had been told that from the time she was a little girl. So now she's performing, and she just performed as a comedian. Fabulous. But anyway, the whole thing is to this High Heels Cabaret was something I couldn't get the name, but I thought high heels. So I talked to a friend of mine that is from New York, and she used to teach and work in cabarets. So I said, what about Music City Cabaret? Oh, no, Patricia, yeah, she said, that's not good. I said, well, what about that's it. High Heels Cabaret, that's who you are, and that's it. And it started to take off simply because that's who people have already. So how do people see you? If I would ask the ladies on here, how do they see you? And so High Heels Cabaret was born out of that. So here's what it's about. It's continuing to coach, because what I'm doing is, okay, I have a woman that's going to be on my October the 6th show at the Holiday Inn. She makes films. She's in the process of creating. She's a screenwriter. She's a music composer. She's been a school teacher, a book publisher. And she wrote a song and did a video about it. It's called Bingo Wings. Now, do you know those, when we get older, well, those of you got those flappy arm things under here? She wrote a song about bingo wings. She was out walking one day, and it just came to her. This is how spirit or nudges can impact your life. Hello, self. This is what I've been thinking. So anyway, I called her one day. I said, Valerie, I want you to be on my show. And she said, well, I don't want to say anything about my show, Love Is, because I'm getting some funding and I need to. So I said, no, I want that bingo wings thing. So we started saying, we're going to create she has never done comedy. And so now she's going to do a comedy skit at my upcoming October the 6th. We laughed so hard creating that. So to Sabrina's question, that is exactly what my show is about, is taking those that have a dream, getting it off that someday shelf, and helping them find a way. I did this in church years ago when I was drama ministry director, and I had spaghetti. We raised money, spaghetti dinners. And so then I would have the people in the church do some kind of skit. They weren't actors or actresses. They were just interested. One lady, 80 some years old, sat in a chair with a blanket over her lap and told a story. Then a little girl came to me, Miss Leonard, can I be in the show? This was at the church. And I said, well, what do you do? Well, I'm a tumbler. I said, well, audition right here. And she did. And she was in the show. You know what? This is exactly what I want to do. It's America's Got Talent right here in Nashville, Tennessee, without a lot of competition. Just come do it. You're not trying to get the $1 million. You're coming to express something that's inside of you. Hello, self. I've wanted to talk to you my whole life about being a performer or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope all of you find, at least acknowledge yourself, because the passion and the purpose you're looking for is right inside of you, but you're probably denying it and probably saying, I couldn't do that. You know, when you look at somebody else and you say, I wish I could do that. Yes, you can if you want to. So I don't have the talent. I just get up there and do it. And people just accept me. I don't know. And maybe, I don't know. And I promise you, Sabrina and I, this is our goal, is helping you push that past that point of I wish or someday, and take an action now. And talk to us, talk to anybody on her show, talk to your neighbor. It doesn't have to be a professional. Please, you'd have to pay $150,000 to get whatever you want to get. Just go out and do it. Social media is available to you today.
Yes, 100%.
So honor yourself. I got one more thing to say. Somebody asked me to do a spoken word. And I was telling my brother about this yesterday. He said, oh my God, sis, I'm going to do this. And this might help you find that next step in yourself. She asked me to do a spoken word, and it was Letters Never Sent was the name of her show. So I said, oh, I don't know what to, Allie, I'm not sure I know what to do. So she said, no, just do something. I said, okay, I will. So it ended up that I wrote a letter to myself. A letter. I would suggest that this is a good place for you to start, is write a letter to yourself. And it was a letter, and here's what I did. I wrote it, then I put it in an envelope, and because this is how I was doing it for the show, I put it in an envelope, and then the night of the performance, I set up on a high stool. That's what she had for the performers. And I set up on this stool, and the audience was out in front. And I said, I've got a letter that I'm going to read, just like everybody else. Some wrote a letter to their dog. Some wrote a letter to their boss that they didn't like. It was, so I wrote a letter to Patricia, but I didn't tell them. I said, here's a letter that I'm going to read to you, a letter that I have never read before out loud. I wrote it, but I've never read it out loud. So I opened the envelope in front of them, let the envelope fall to the floor, and I read page 1, and I turned to her. Patricia, I've been wanting to say this to you for a long time, but we never talk much anymore. So I read that, almost cried myself. I talked to her about, why didn't you support me when my one-woman show, I came to Nashville and I had an opportunity to do it, and I had the venue planned and everything, and Mom passed away the week before. You said to me, you love yourself more than you love your mom because you went on with the show. Why did you say that? That was so I talked about the good times, and I talked about the sad times. Wow. And I opened up to her, talked to her, to me. And oh my goodness, the audience said, oh my gosh, everybody should do this. What's your name again? I didn't even know what I was doing. You don't have to be aware. I just wrote the letter, and I don't know, for some reason, the letter was to me and nobody else. So try that. My brother said yesterday, sis, I'm going to write myself a letter. And, I know there's a song, write yourself a letter or something like that. But that's another way to maybe say, hello, self.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I could totally see how impactful that'd be. I can't even believe that you're saying you almost cried. I feel like I totally would have cried.
I mean, I did tears fall, but I had to go on.
Yeah.
And then, but I ended up in a good, I ended up good. Patricia, can we make a pact right now? We are a real powerhouse, the two of us. Can we make a pact right now that we're going to be the best of friends from now on? And we're going to consult with each other and boost each other to do the best they can be, and just walk down this path together. And so we made a pact. Yeah. But
Powerful. Absolutely powerful.
That's how you take the first step. Find out who you are.
Yeah, that's great. I would love for you to, we have a ton of people watching live right now. For those of you watching live, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. Patricia, I would love for you to take a moment to let us know exactly what you do. Who should be reaching out to you? Who do you help?
Truthfully, I help. I even work with men. So I don't want you to think that I'm biased in any direction. I will work with anybody. Now, sometimes we'll go into more of a coaching relationship. But I'll tell you one thing that I really like anymore, because I think this is so powerful. If you have a group that would like to invite me, I don't know if, I don't mean to be trying to market, but that you would invite me, it could be online or however, invite me to work with that group. I had a group for 5 years, Runway to Success. And that's exactly what we did. Is every month we would have a meeting and individuals would talk about what they wanted to accomplish. And then the next month we would say, what did you find out about that? Did you talk to someone? Did you take some action? And they would even help each other. So I like group things like that anymore, much more than one-on-one. And the reason I like that is because we're not alone in this world. And that's why God made more than one person, is that we can help each other. And as women, we can empower each other when we lose our way or we get lost on a path that we don't know where to go. Somebody can help us. So I really like groups. So if you've got something like that you would like, an online, and you invite me to talk or whatever, I'll do that. Or you want me to work with you on a monthly basis. Now, I did charge for that Runway to Success. I charged a monthly fee. So, but that's one way. Individually, I will work with you just like I did with that young lady. And I don't keep you forever. If you don't start doing something, then our relationship is over, because I want to see people that move forward. So if you're ready, you can call me and we'll get started, because what I'd like to do is assessment. Second thing I like to do is put a 1-month plan together of things you're going to get you started. And then the third thing is we will follow up at the end of that 1 month and see where you are. If you've accomplished some of those things or you've done them, simple things like creating a business card or getting in a group. I'm not going to, So, but I don't want to work with people that really don't want to work. They just want to talk. Yeah.
Totally. I get that for sure. 100%. For those that would love to follow you, see more information about you, do you have a website, and where do you hang out on social media where people can follow you?
Yes. My website is on the screen here, patricialeonard.net, patricia@patricialeonard.net. So that's my website. My email is patricia@patricialeonard.net. So I make it easy. That's for me, not you. And I'm on Facebook as Hello Self and Runway to Success. I'm on LinkedIn with the same two, Hello Self and Runway to Success. And I have a podcast on Instagram. Yes, on Instagram. I have, and the podcast is on everything, just like Sabrina's podcast is on Spotify. And it's Hello Self. It's the same thing that we've been talking about. What are some other platforms? Oh, I'm on X too. I go in there every once in a while, and then I just post on social medias whenever my podcast comes out. I have one coming out today, as a matter of fact. But my podcast is it's called Hello Self, and it's individuals sharing Hello Self moments in their life that changed the trajectory of their career or their life. And I'm hoping that that's what Sabrina and I are doing, is changing the trajectory of whatever you're choosing next. As long as it's in alignment with what's for your best and highest good. Did that answer? That's a long conversation, but.
Yes, 100%. So appreciate that. This was absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate you being here, hanging out with us. For those that resonate with Patricia and all the goodness that she was talking about today, make sure you connect with her. Her website is Patricia
Leonard, yeah.
Leonard. I know that word, .net, patricialeonard.net. And
Yes.
You can find her all over social media. We love to connect people here on this platform in order to make sure that we continue to rise. Any closing thoughts, Patricia, as we wrap up?
Well, I want to say one thing. When you sign on to my website, it will come up Runway to Success. So you are at the right place when that happens. But any closing comments I'd like to say is continue to live your life. That's why you came to this planet. And don't let anybody get in your way. If you're in a group or a relationship or anything now and I don't advocate divorce or but find your niche. It'll make it easier to take the next step. And I'm hoping that this has had some impact on turning your cants into cans and your dreams into plans. And finally, keep dreaming.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much, Patricia, for being here. That brings us to an end of yet another incredible episode of Her Talk Show. Thank you, Patricia, for sharing so much wisdom and inspiring us all with your storytelling. To those of you that were listening, thank you so much for staying with us all the way to the end. Remember to follow, like, and share. Once again, I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I invite you to join our amazing community, Her Nation, where we continue to lift each other up every step of the way by having conversations just like this.